Last time on Layton Brothers Mystery Room. Oh, boom! And now back to breaking people's hearts. Literally. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to some more Layton Brothers Mystery Room. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Last time we left off, we finished the 4th case of the game. Oh, okay, why is the game being laggy now? And, okay, never mind. It's a lot louder than I thought it was, but... Now we're getting back into the game, and we're doing file number 5, the DJ Swan song, which I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I guess we'll get into it. Oh, we've got a very special guest in the studio today, people. It's the drop-dead gorgeous Miss Dolly Holiday.
Thanks, Dwight, darling.
Wait, yeah, it's a miss.
It's really terrific to be on the show. Here, I got you something. They're ever so tasty.
Wow, thanks, Dolly. Yeah.
I didn't think this on the radio with a cup of tea, Professor. You don't like this, do you?
You're not a fan of radio, Lucy.
Oh, I've got nothing against this catchy tune, some good banter, but this rubbish? No, not for me. There's something about the way that presenter talks. I don't know what it is. He's just smarmy.
Oh, he's gonna be our requester, isn't he? Or whatever they call it.
I tell you, whenever he has a lass on the show as a guest, he talks totally different.
Sounds rather like you're a regular listener. Oh, that sounds like a fax coming in already. So our first request this morning is from Miss Angel of Death. I'll be the death of you. Whoa, sounds like somebody wants to turn DJ Dwight Dread into DJ Dwight Dead. Oh, is he gonna be the victim actually?
Don't you go die on me, Dwight. I never live it down.
Well, if I'm about to sign off for the last time ever, allow me to try one of your mouth-watering offerings first. Okay, never mind. He's doing sound effects. That hit the spot. Oh, the chocolates were poisoned.
Oi, what's going on?
Dwight, are you right? Let's get into an ad break. Come on, quickly. The Grand Fair on sale is now on. No stores, more for less. So get down to Daysbridge today.
What happened, Professor?
Well, if it's some sort of practical joke, it's certainly very convincing. Oh. This is a guy?
We got a number of new cases, boys and girls. A number just went down on the airwaves. What's up, Sniffer?
Didn't you have your... I don't know what he is. Didn't you have your lugs on the wireless just now? That's where the action is. Are you talking about the radio presenter who sounded like he collapsed just now?
What else? I'd say the stiff's cold already. So I wasn't just part of the show then? Not in my book. It was a rub-out job. My gumshoe radar was beeping like a car alarm the second it went down.
Gumshoe? Hey, that sounds like me, pal.
Whatever you say, Sniffer.
Oh. We need you to take the case.
Hey, I'm telling you. They'll be on the blower asking you to do the snoop any second now.
You may well be right.
If it turns out I'm on the mark, you guys will wrap it up with bows for us, right?
We'll do our best, barring the whole incident being a practical joke, of course.
You won't believe this. We've been flooded with calls from anxious listeners to that show. Maybe there's something in it after all.
Time for action, Snippers. I'm gonna make like a slug and shoot over there to see what the score is. Excellent. You slug on over there, Sniffer.
I'll get my report back to the clubhouse ASAP. Then it'll be up for you two to bring in the hoods.
I don't know what that voice was, but...
I can't believe it were really a murder. Can you, Professor?
We don't know anything for sure yet, Lucy, but the signs are compelling. Sniffer's rarely wrong.
Aye.
Okay, it's a he. Good.
He's a revelation, all right, that one.
Indeed, though he has the tendency to get ahead of himself. And what, and you don't? I don't know. Never thought I'd witness something. No, let me rephrase that. I hear something like that with my own ears. It happened in a radio station. They were broadcasting the whole country when the DJ had a funny turn. There were 5 suspects, one of whom we hadn't identified. Ooh. But despite the lack of information, we began investigating. All we know for certain was what we saw with...
No, I've done it again. What we heard with our own ears.
the DJ's swan song. Sniffer sent his report over. The radio presenter is indeed dead.
By heck, so all for real then. It's fine it took them so long to confirm it.
The broadcast was at rush hour, unfortunately. The police had some difficulties getting to the scene. Investigations are ongoing, but I'll tell you what we know thus far.
I'm all ears, Professor, as ever.
I read that weird, but whatever. These took place inside the recording studio of a national radio station. The presenter of the show that was airing at the time goes by the name of Dwight Dredd. Dredd, sorry. Two people were in the studio from the outset, the show's producer and the sound man. Just before going on air, a tea lady from the radio station cafeteria came into the studio with some drinks.
She didn't linger, eh? She left after she dropped the drinks.
Oh! After that, Dredd, the presenter, came into the studio along with a young singer and a manager.
So now we're actually talking about when they actually went on air then.
As soon as the show started, the guest singer gave the presenter a gift of confectionery.
I'm more than a bit curious about what was in that gift.
But before Dredd had a chance to sample in the offering, something came in on the studio fax machine. It was a handwritten note that read, "I'll be the death of you."
Sends shiver down your spine, doesn't it?
Believing the fax to be some sort of joke, Dredd continued with the show.
Aye, well you would, wouldn't you?
However, no sooner had Dredd put one of his guest treats into his mouth, he started having difficulty breathing and collapsed onto the floor. Understandably worried, the director called for a transmission break. He then sent the sound man call for emergency services. About 20 minutes later, police and an ambulance crew arrived at the scene almost simultaneously. I bet you it was the waiter. I'm calling it right now. However, Dredd was already dead.
20 minutes? That's on account of the rush hour traffic you mentioned, eh?
Yes, the radio station is very central. In rush hour, that's about how long you'd expect it to take. Sorry, I need to get back into the voice.
That's too long, that is. Poor bloke.
And that really is all we know about the course of events at this point in time. So let's think about our suspects.
Aye, who we've got?
There are 5 of them. First, the young guest on the show, the singer Dolly Holiday. Dolly Holiday? I don't know. It was her gift that Dredd put into his mouth just moments before he began to struggle to breathe.
Aye, that's more than a little fishy if you ask me. My money's on that lass.
Second is Holiday's manager, Melody Smith. Apparently she was an old friend of the deceased.
Oh aye, just coincidence, do you think?
Third, the director of the show, Mike Debonair. Mike Debonair. I get it's on air, I get the joke. Oh, Mike, you like microphone. Okay, I see. There's nothing obviously suspicious about his involvement, though his relationship with Dredd was stormy.
Which would give him a good motive, eh?
Fourth, the sound man, a Mr. Randall Mann. Randall Man? Randall Man. I don't know, actually. I guess it's just kind of like that. Hey, Randall Man! That's what the sound guys always have, those types of names. He was the one who went to call the ambulance, which does not put him under a certain amount of suspicion.
Aye, it really is hard to believe the emergency services could have taken that long to get there.
And finally, there's the tea lady from the cafeteria who brought the drinks. She appears to be missing. No one has seen or heard of her since she delivered the drinks to the studio.
You what, Professor? Then that's it then, surely. She's the killer and she's done a runner.
Certainly not an unlikely hypothesis. However, we don't know enough about her yet. We need to see what our inquiries turn up on her first.
I don't know. It's too fishy for my liking.
So those are the suspects. We certainly don't have much to go on at this stage. What's your hunch? Who do you think did it?
I see you're gonna make me have a stab at it even though you admit we don't have enough info yet.
Of course. I'm always telling you how important it is to pay attention to your intuition. So let's hear it then. Then we'll get down to the real detective work. Alrighty. Well, I mean, I think I made my stance pretty clear. Good. Let's hear the Baker finger of let's hear the Baker finger of guilt is pointing at. I don't know why. That's kind of funny. I think it's the tea lady. I honestly think it is. Interesting. Why?
The poison must have been in his drink. And anyway, the lass had vanished, right? No, there's no question in my mind. She's the one.
True. The tea lady is very suspicious. Unfortunately, with her missing, we can't call her in for questioning.
Aye, I know.
So let's put her to the side for one moment to consider the other options. Out of them, I believe the most likely culprit to be... Really? Dolly Holiday. Well, no duh.
Give over. You don't really think she did it, do you?
That's too obvious for this game. Actually, let's see. Is it gonna be like lower than usual? Oh, wow. 43.6% sure of it.
That's rubbish.
That's weird. Yes, well, there are simply too many pieces of the puzzle missing at this stage. Every puzzle has a— Go away, Dad!
That's not much of a number to go on, is it? Certainly doesn't exactly inspire confidence, Professor.
No, it's a fairly weak conjecture, but still, there are a number of questions I'd like to ask Miss Holliday. After all, she was right next to Dredd when he collapsed.
Oh, I see. That's it, is it? Right, well, I suppose I'd best go and see if we can get in touch with...
Oh, okay.
Is this a mystery room or what? Miss Holliday, what are you doing here? One of your detectives fairly told me come. What? Did I, eh? Alright, little so-and-so he was. He threatened me, you know? Said he'd pinch me and check me elbows if I didn't come in. Alright, that sounds like a Detective Sergeant Hag.
Oh, Hag. Yes, she's, very sharp.
Yep, that's the phone. So, what you lot get up to here then? Eh? Anything special?
This is a special division of Scotland Yard where we investigate especially heinous crimes.
Look, I don't know what's going on, but at the end of the day, all I want to know is if you're arresting me or not.
No, we merely wish to ask you a few questions to help us with the speedy resolution of this case.
Oh no, officer, I never speed. That's ever so dangerous. I always stick to the speed limit, me.
Let me try to explain. You are a witness, you see, Miss Holliday.
Professor, message from Sniffer. He says she's the one. Squeeze the canary till she squeals, were his precise words. You know how he is.
Oh, this was the worst time for you to say that.
Hang on, that's not what you just told me, is it? Yeah, have I said something wrong?
Allow me to reassure you. In truth, yes, you are under suspicion of perpetrating the crime. However, no one has yet concluded that you are indeed guilty. Would you be so kind as cooperate with our investigation so as to clear your name?
Huh, well, if I have to. I got my better things to do with my time, though. Know what I mean? I came in halfway through something there. Still, looks like you managed to calm her down now.
Okay, then. So, first, let's examine the body, shall we? We need to investigate the poison that induced death. I'm also particularly interested in the song request sheet that the victim read out moments before his death.
Right then, let's get down to business.
Get down to Funky Town. Oh, wow. So where shall we start? Jared's body.
Let's talk about the body, shall we?
Miss Holliday, you actually saw the victim die right before your eyes, didn't you? If there's anything at all that you noticed that seemed out of ordinary, please do tell us.
Yeah, whatever. Suppose I can try to remember.
Okay. Investigate the body. I see a broken teacup. Wig. Oh, he was on.
Is Mr. Dredd's corpse here? Corpse, not core. I can't speak.
The cause of death was poison. That's beyond disputable.
Oh, what on earth is that thing on the floor next to him? It looks disgusting.
Sorry, what are you referring to?
You know, that shaggy what's it there?
He's talking about the wig?
It's a wig, Professor. I always thought her hair were a bit too, well, healthy for his age and all the photos you see of him.
No doubt, all part of portraying a young image to increase his popularity. Do you think you need to volumize? Or perhaps you need to volumize. Do you think?
What, even on the radio? Wow, I had no idea he wore syrup.
You had no idea? But didn't you see it come off?
Nah, I saw him die. Well, he managed to keep his hair on there. The wig never came off while I was there. Are you absolutely sure of that, Miss Holliday? I'm not going to forget something as shocking as that in a hurry, am I? Know what I mean?
If what you say is true, it implies that somebody took Mr. Dredd's wig off after he died.
Who would do something like that, eh? That's so hateful.
We lack the present information to answer that, so let's turn our attention to another matter for now. Like the cafeteria lady? Let's find the poison. seems we found traces of the poisonous substance used to kill Dredd at the scene. Can you figure out where?
Leave it to me, Professor.
Well, if she's a suspect, I would bet it's in the chocolate, but I don't know. Knowing this game, probably not. Let's check the tea spilt on the floor real quick, though. Yep, here we go.
There's traces of tea. There's traces of poison in this tea here.
And as no other traces of poison were found on the scene, we can assume Dredd was killed by poisoned tea.
That's not what happened at all. Nah, he died after eating my macaroons, didn't he?
Macaroons, you say? Lucy, what do we know about these macaroons?
Let's see. Yes, here we are. The macaroons the victim were eating on air. Here's the file.
Well, this is a little odd. No traces of poison was found in any of the macaroons.
What are you on about? I saw with my own eyes. He started coughing and that straight after he put the macaroon in his mouth. To be honest, he never actually took one sip of that tea.
Are you quite sure?
Personally, I think honesty is one of the most important virtues, so I wouldn't lie, know what I mean?
Okay. He never touched his tea. That will put you firmly at the top of the list of suspects, Miss Holliday. After all, you're the one who brought Mr. Dredd the aforementioned macaroons, are you not?
What? I'm not going behind bars, am I? We're talking about murder, Mr. Holliday. Miss Holliday. You'll definitely go to prison for it, But I really don't like prison, know what I mean? You don't like it, you say? Oh, hang on a minute. Of course, must be Melody who did it. How's Miss Smith suddenly involved in all this? I no disrespect or nothing, but it was my manager who actually purchased the macaroons for me. Oh, aye. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know nothing about the poison, so at the end of the day, it must have been her. You want to arrest her quick, you know? She's well scary. And always telling me what to do and what not to do she is. I hate the miserable old witch. I'm afraid, Miss Holliday, we can't very well go around arresting anyone and everyone you don't like much.
Just a moment, there's something we need to clear up here. Presumably, at the point when you gave Mr. Dredd the macaroons, they were unopened.
Of course they were, they're a gift, weren't they?
So the poison would need to have been added after the wrapping was removed, sometime during the show. In full view of the victim, in other words.
Well, obviously that isn't what happened. That would have been totally impossible. So then we're back to thinking you were poisoned by his cuppa then, aren't we? But the tea lady that brought it to him has vanished into thin air.
At this stage, the one thing we can be sure of is that the tea holds the key to this entire case. We should make sure we investigate the teacup as well as the tea contained.
Right away, Professor.
Investigate broken teacup, look at it. It's a broken cup. Only his were lifted.
This teacup's had it then.
Presumably he fell on the floor when the victim collapsed.
That's a Puka Royal Jolton teacup, that is. Top quality. They cost a bomb. What a waste. We got some fingerprints off it too, Professor, but that's about it.
There's something strange about this teacup, Lucy.
Really? What?
Let's see if we can figure it out. Excuse me. Oh, the fingerprints on it. Shouldn't the other person's be on there?
Oh, it's the prints. There's no fingerprints from that tea lady that brought the drinks.
Precisely. I'm glad you noticed, Lucy. Almost certainly somebody wiped the fingerprints from the cup after it was brought into the studio.
No disrespect to you, but does anyone give up monkeys? I mean, at the end of the day, you can't know wipe them off, right?
Miss Holliday is quite right. There's little point continuing on this line of investigation at the moment.
Right then, I'll poke my nose in somewhere else then.
I like how every witness we call in is like, yeah, you know, I totally, it's fine that you have this device that literally recreates the crime scene. Well, in the air, the victim received a request for a song entitled I'll Be the Death of You.
To be honest with you, I nearly had a heart attack when he keeled over. Seemed highly likely it was the killer that sent the request though,
Let's examine the fact sheet the request was written on and see what we can deduce. Great deduction time. Wait, that's not this game. Never mind. Oh, in handwritten. Okay.
Here's a request sheet, Professor. I'm afraid it doesn't look very promising. Nothing to note.
Well, it allows us to confirm that it really was sent during the broadcast, at least.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. I saw it coming, didn't I? So the killer on the other end of the line, then?
Quite possibly. Let's examine the fax machine and see what we can deduce.
This is it, Professor? The request sheet was sent in through this fax machine here. Looks like a regular machine to me. No signs of jiggery pokery.
The sender's details are still present by the look of it. Have Sniffer find out where it was sent from.
Will do, Professor.
Sent from where? We're still some way from being able to identify the culprit.
Look, let's just say it was Melody and meet on with it, okay? End of... We can't do that!
Let's go over what we already know. First of all, where was the poison that killed the victim found? In the teacup, you dingus. Spilt tea! Oh, but only in that tea. That's interesting. Oh! Is it gonna turn out she wasn't actually trying to kill the dude? She was trying to kill this... she was trying to kill this person. What's her name? Oh, Holiday.
The poison were in the tea. How many times I gotta tell you, that bloke never touched his tea. It can't have been the tea that killed him. I gotta say, Professor, I don't think she's lying about this.
Me neither. It's a very curious discrepancy. Not the only one either. There's another in Miss Holliday's statement, if you remember. Where is it? I mean, there's only one of her statements there. And what's the evidence that contradicts that statement? The wig? That was kind of obvious, but okay.
The victim's wig went on his head, but according to Miss Holiday, he still had the wig on when she last saw him, which was after he died. Yep, I'm 110% about that. There's no way I could have missed it if he didn't have his hair on, know what I mean?
I don't believe Miss Holiday is lying.
No, nor do I. But it wouldn't be that nasty if they do something like that to someone who...
Oh.
Yep, that's the telephone. You don't be Sniffer, I'll bet.
I'll take it, Lucy. I've got a number of questions for him.
So, how old are you then? I'm 22. You're joking, I'm 22. Talk about 1 in a million. Aye, amazing. And that's important because... So what's the score with you, Inspector Whitey? You going out?
Not likely! Oh, wow, big text.
Oh, sorry. He's not a bad looker, eh? But that white gown's a bit of a disaster. I don't know what he's on about half the time. To be honest, I think he might be a bit funny in the head. I can't deny the coat's a bit, well... But the professor can see to the heart of any case just like that. There's not many fellas can match that. Now I get it, you fancy him but he isn't into you, is it? Oh, give over, it's no such thing. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. I'm the height of depression. I'll try and talk you up, alright? To be honest, I agree with you. I think an older man's better at the end of the day. More mature than that. I keep telling you, there's nothing between us.
Sounds like you two are having fun.
Fun is not the word, Professor.
Well, anyway, some new information has come to light. The song's request fax was sent from inside the studio itself.
No, how's that possible?
One of the chaps was sent to check it out straight away, and he found the tea lady's body there. What?
Eh? What's this? What's this? Stuff that happened, has it? I'm talking about the same tea lady that we're missing. The one who brought the tea?
Yes.
So we've got 2 unsolved murders on our hands now then.
Actually, no.
Eh?
According to the officer in the scene, and there's evidence that the tea lady was indeed Dredd's killer.
What kind of evidence? Come on, Professor, spill the beans.
Firstly, they found the song request fact sheet that was sent to Mr. Dredd next to her body. Handwriting analysis had already confirmed it was the tea lady who wrote it.
Oh.
And on top of that, they found the poison with her too. The same poison used to kill Mr. Dredd.
So what are you saying then exactly?
As I explained, the tea lady was the one who brought the tea that the victim drank. In other words, the tea lady was Dwight Dredd's killer.
If she was the killer, how come she's wound up dead now? You know what this is, don't you? It was suicide. At the end of the day, she's done it herself, hasn't she?
It turns out the tea lady was a huge fan of DJ DD. The theory is they must have had some kind of argument that sparked all this off.
What, she killed him because she liked him that much? Yeah, I bet that's it. The proper case of hero worship, eh? Aye.
Well, anyway, the case is closed.
Oh, so I can go home now, can I? Terrific.
Yes, you're free to go. Thank you for your cooperation.
Alright then, well, see you, darling. No, there's something niggling me. What, can't get enough of me, eh? I do have that effect on people. No, niggling me about the case.
Thank you, Miss Holiday. You can really go now. Ta-ra!
See ya.
Okay. What was that about, Professor?
Ba-ba.
So that's wrapped up then. You can go home early if you like, Lucy.
Professor, there's definitely something not right here. I mean, there's a gaping hole between the evidence at the scene and Miss Holliday's statement.
Well, nevertheless, the case is now closed. But actually, there's something I was hoping to get done, so we'll pick this up again tomorrow, shall we?
Alright then, Professor.
Man, what are you doing? Why is my voice just going all over the place?
No, it's not right. Something's definitely amiss. Well, the professor's off. I suppose I'll just have to figure this out on my own. Oh, Professor?
Ah, Lucy, did you forget something?
No, it's just I can't get this case out of my head. I thought maybe if I had another look at the scene, I might be able to figure something out.
You're just not willing to let it go, hmm?
Anyway, what are you up to, Professor?
Just a bit of investigating for fun.
For fun? Yep, that's where the cheerleader last one bumped off, isn't it?
Yes, although I can't produce the entire scene now because the case has been closed.
I knew it! I knew you wouldn't be able to let it go either, Professor!
As it happens, I've uncovered some evidence to support Holliday's statement. Honest Holiday.
So it's this evidence you found that backs up Holliday's statement then, Professor?
Well, Lucy, do you remember what were broadcast, what we were listening to together?
I think I remember the gist of it.
The evidence is in the transmission itself. I managed to borrow a recording of the show. Listen carefully to this now. We've got a very special guest on the studio tonight. He's a drop-dead gorgeous Miss Dolly Holiday. Trivia here by there, Sir Daisy. Wow, thanks, Dolly. Sounds like facts. The first grade of the science. Miss Angel of Death. I'll be the death of you. Whoa, sounds so. She go down. I mean, never let down. Munch, gulp. I hit the spot. Ugh. Ugh. Bang, crack, wall. Oi, what's going on? Sorry, you okay? Sorry, I didn't really feel like reading that again. Well.
Holiday's laying it on thick too.
Well, maybe, but never mind that.
You just struck me, that's all.
Okay, but ignoring that, there's a blatant discrepancy between the radio show and the scene of the crime. Can you get it? Maybe? Is it just the teacup itself? The spilt tea? Oh, no. There's no sound of a cup breaking. I see. What is the discrepancy we heard between that and the radio? The noise of the facts, I'll be this. Yeah! Cool.
There were a broken teacup at the scene of the crime, but no sound of a cup breaking on air.
Precisely. You can clearly hear where Dredd collapses from his chair, and yet there's no sound of a cup breaking.
So the teacup didn't break during the show, you mean?
Almost certainly, and it's increasingly clear that Miss Holliday's statement is true. Dredd never drank the tea. If he had, it's highly likely that he'd have dropped and broken the cup as the poison entered his bloodstream.
So Miss Holliday's statement is the bona fide truth. Now in that case, when did he drink the poison and when did the cup break?
My hypothesis is correct. Dredd was given the poison after the show went off air.
Eh? What? When the broadcast had finished, you mean?
Yes, quite probably.
So even though he collapsed during the show when it were on air, he had the poison after that? You can't be right flummoxed now, Professor.
Dredd collapsed on air after eating the macaroon given to him by Holiday. That's the point.
I am sure. I'm getting further and further from it.
Well, why don't we do some investigation in that area, hmm? Dredd's death. There's a clear discrepancy between the scene we see here and the state of the studio just after the show. It poses the question of why Dredd became physically distressed after he ate the macaroon.
Aye, why would a perfectly normal macaroon do that to him when he hadn't touched his tea?
Quite. He hadn't any poison at all, yet everyone around him mistakenly believed he died.
Almost like he was just putting it on and pretending to die or something.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. There's actually existing evidence of the scene that supports the idea that he was faking his own death. Yeah, see if you can find it. Where would it be?
It's not this hanky, is it?
See what it says? Well, surprise.
By heck! He pretended to die and we're going to use his hanky to show we're all a big joke.
That's right. Dredd was trying to play a practical joke on Holiday and play everyone else in the studio. So he made it look like he was in pain as soon as he took a bite of the macaroon. After he pretended to collapse, however, he drank the poison tea and really did die.
Once that poison took hold of him, he would have keeled over with a fair wallop, eh? That must have been when he dropped the cup and broke it then. And when his wig fell off, eh?
It's an absurd ending to the whole affair, but there's a considerable chance that is what happened.
A considerable chance? It's more like a dead cert if you ask me.
You greatly narrowed down the possible suspects.
Eh? Do you know who done it now, Professor? Do you?
I have someone in mind. But before we pick the culprit, let's just take some time to investigate the death of the tea lady.
Oh, I've been itching to look into this.
God, I just keep getting notifications. So let me fill you in on the tea lady who was found dead. Her name was Nancy Brewer. Oh, a nice brewer. Oh my god. She worked at the radio station cafeteria. She was a huge fan of Dredd, and several people say she remembers seeing the pair chatting at times.
Were they involved then?
We have a reason to believe that they were, yes, although there's little evidence to actually back that up.
Aye, well, if both of them are dead, there's no one can tell for sure, I suppose.
Now let's turn our attention to the room where Brewer's body was discovered. It was a storeroom, not a minute's walk from the studio.
Right, next to it, were it? Telling.
It seems the storeroom is just that, and staff rarely have cause to go inside. It's apparently kept unlocked though, so anyone can get in there should they want to.
So Brewer went in there to hide after she took the drinks to the studio?
That seems most probable.
What we need to figure out then is what went on in that room.
I managed to obtain additional statements from all suspects about their movements after Dredd's death. Have a look over them, Lucy.
Will do, Professor.
That was with one of the security guards the whole time. That's all the information we have at this stage.
I'll probably look at the storeroom then, can I?
Question is whether commit suicide. Let's see for ourselves. Okay. Oh, god dang it. The Brewer commits the murder, so we need to figure out which it is. Right, well, we start that. There's two pieces of it. First the strawberry and the poison. That's the we start by the good, the name. Oh, yes, blah, 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 blah. Probably should have read that because I actually don't know how to get in here now, but whatever. Oh, you just hit the... There's a big new thing. Of course I know where it is, you fool. Alright. Okay. And...
Okay, I'm all done. There's no question it's Brewer's handwriting on the song request sheet, and the poison's the same stuff that we used to kill Dredd without a shadow of a doubt. I can't deny, it does seem pretty likely she did deal him in.
It's too soon to draw any conclusions, Lucy. Personally, I find the broken glass container that contained the poison a little curious.
Aye, that would bother me too.
Looks like it was smashed with some considerable force. Its original shape is beyond recognition.
There's no saying what folk will do when there's unrequited love involved, Professor.
I dare say there's a good reason for it, yes. Anyway, let's see if there isn't any evidence to suggest foul play.
Aye, let's have a look. And this note she wrote on her hand might be a clue about something.
It's obviously something she'd only just written. I wonder what Farrod sale means. It's the ad.
Hey, Professor, remember that ad they play on the radio after what happened on the show? That's what it was. It was an advert for the big sale on Farrod's.
Ah, of course. Brewer must have heard the advertisement and made a note of it on her hand.
That must be it.
Well, it would tell us something, wouldn't it? Like, she didn't see death come.
Brewer must have been thinking she'd go to Farrod's sale, and thinking it while she were in that room, so she can't have had any clue that she were about to die, can she?
No, she can't. Just to be sure, let's find out when else that advertisement was aired. It's possible she just made the note on another occasion.
I'll go and make the necessary inquiries right away, Professor. Got the answer, Professor.
That was unbelievably quick, Lucy.
Aye, investigating's all about speed, I say. Anyway, turns out that was the very first time that I'd ever aired.
And it's undeniable. Brewer was murdered.
Was she an accomplice in the real killer then, do you think? Killed to shut her up on something?
What do you think? I don't think she was.
I don't think Brewer went in on it, actually. She left the song request facts just lying about in full view, not to mention all them sweet rappers. She didn't seem like... She just doesn't seem to have been that bothered, really. Not what you'd expect of a killer.
An excellent deduction. I couldn't agree more. There's too much evidence left behind in this room. If she'd known about the plan to kill Dredd, she would have been tidier. She wouldn't have wanted to get caught. In all likelihood, I imagine Dredd approached Brewer. He would have told her of her plans for a great practical joke and asked her to help him.
Aye, that makes sense. That's why she went totally unfazed after hearing Dredd collapse and making notes about sales in the shops.
Exactly.
So the real killer used Brewer without her even knowing about it. The killer absolute idol of all people.
Yes, a contemptible trick indeed, even for a murderer.
So who were it then? Who's behind all this?
I believe I know who it was.
Do you?
Yes, Brewer's killer and Dredd's killer were one and the same. I expect you've figured it out by now also, haven't you, Lucy? So who's the real culprit in this case? Oh, that's this guy, huh?
That's been the director, Mike DeBonnaire. He's the only one who could have been in the right place at the right time for both murders.
I agree. After Dredd's feigned death, Holiday and Smith were together the entire time. Man, the sound man, called for help from one of the members of the staff to contact the emergency services. The only suspect who was on their own as events were unfolding is DeBonnaire.
So him then, without any questions. Alright, I'll go and get someone to bring him in.
Yes, there's no question that DeBonnaire is the culprit, but still, there's one final piece of the puzzle missing. We're gonna need Crazy Professor to come out and help us. There's no question now that why can't I say his name? DeBonnaire is responsible for the deaths of Dredd and Brewer. Let's get him. Let's go. Dolly, I'm terribly sorry to have kept. Goodness, sir, where's Dolly?
She's not here.
Oh, well, that's rather strange. She said she wanted to see me.
What exactly
did you tell this man, Lucy?
I just couldn't get hold of him. In the end, I had to resort to asking Miss Holiday if she'd help.
That little minx. She doesn't know who she's messing with.
Allow me to apologize, Mr. DeBonnaire. I had no idea this had gone on.
Oh, no, not at all. I can hardly blame your lovely assistant. After all, if a man allows himself to be duped, it's usually for less than an honorable reason. Anyway, I must be getting back.
Just a moment, please, Mr. DeBonnaire. I actually have a few questions we'd like to ask you.
Well, it's not often that a pretty young girl has a chat with an old fogey like me, so why not? But it better be something important enough to warrant dragging me out of bed,
Well, it's,
Yes, this is an extremely serious matter. It seems you may be responsible for the deaths of 2 innocent people, you see. Who are you people exactly? I'm Inspector Layton, Serious Crimes Division.
I'm Lucy Baker, the inspector's assistant.
Well, goodness gracious me. I thought the police were supposed to protect the public, not trick them into false meetings and the like. And falsely accusing them of murder, too. Dear, dear. No formal accusations have been made yet, Mr. DeBonnaire. However, the evidence strongly suggests that you are guilty. I see. Well, it sounds rather like I'm going to need to stay then. Bed will have to wait. Good. It really is in your best interest if you cooperate with us. It's only going to prove your innocence. This sounds rather like some kind of cruel joke.
You don't see us laughing, do you, Mr. Bonnaire?
Very well, Inspector, Layman, was it? Layton. Goodness, my apologies. Anyway, before I consent to helping you with your investigations, I have a couple questions of my own. Really, go ahead. This is what an officer involved in the investigation told me earlier on. He said it was the tea girl who poisoned Dwight, and she committed suicide immediately afterwards. Are you saying this is not the case, that this officer was mistaken? Yes. There's some new evidence! Boom!
No, the tea lady wasn't the one who killed Mr. Dredd.
So she was falsely accused. Dear, dear, what an embarrassing mistake for you. The police do seem to be... the police do rather seem to have lost their edge these days, wouldn't you say?
We always get to the truth in the end, don't you worry.
Of course, of course. Well, who might be so bold as to venture to another question? Huh. I heard it was poison that killed poor Dwight. I wonder, what was the poison in? Let's go to... Whoa.
Mr. Dredd was killed by a lethal poison that was put in his tea.
Yes, that's what I'd heard. And remind me, if you will, who was it that brought Dwight the tea? I'm terribly forgetful these days. Oh, you piece of garbage, you're setting this up just like how you want it, aren't you?
There was a tea lady by the name of Anna Brewer who brought the drinks into the studio.
Ah, yes, of course, I remember now. A pretty young girl, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that's right, she brought the tea to Dwight. The tea laced with poison. We can't be sure the tea already contained poison at that point in time.
Oh, is that so? Well, I'm intrigued. Do tell me then, when was the poison added?
After the show was interrupted. Boom! There we go. Now we're starting to get it.
The poison ran to the tea after the show had been interrupted. Well, what an extraordinary idea. Dwight died while the show was still on air, yet the poison wasn't put in the cup until after that time. I don't wish to cause offense, Inspector Layton, but is your assistant a little simple, perhaps? Hey, I heard that.
And my name is Layton.
I'm terribly sorry. How rude of me.
No, Mr. Debonair, what Miss Baker said is absolutely right. The poison was added to the tea after the show was cut short and taken off the air. I'm sure I don't need to spell out to you what that means.
Sorry to disappoint you, but you've completely lost me. This is all rather too fanciful for an old chap like me.
Very well, let's take a different tack. Why don't we talk about the wig?
The wig? I assure you, advanced in years, I may be, but this is all my own hair.
Mr. Dredd's wig.
Ah, I see, yes, Dwight's wig.
Did you notice the victim's wig had fallen off his head?
As a matter of fact, I did, yes. I saw that drenched locked mess fly off the poor man's head as he keeled over onto the floor.
That's very strange, because we have another witness statement that completely contradicts what you say. According to that statement... There we go. Boom! Yeah.
When Mr. Dredd collapsed during the show, his wig was definitely still on his head. That's what the witness told us.
The person in question even went so far as to say how shocking it was to see the victim without his wig.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm terribly sorry. You're quite right. I'd mixed things up in my head. Yes, when Dwight actually collapsed, it's true his wig didn't come off. It must have been when I ran over to him and shook him. I couldn't help myself. I was in a blind panic. That must have been when it happened. I must have shaken his wig off his head.
Oh, here we go. Now we're gonna be able to... I see. I do apologize for getting so muddled up. I quite understand, Mr. Debonair. People's memories are very curious things.
Yes, quite.
There's just one other thing I'd like to double check with you. Did you notice Mr. Dredd drinking his tea at all?
Oh, yes. Yes, I saw him drink it. Let's see, I'm pretty sure he ate one of those macaroons first. No doubt that made him thirsty, and it was when he took a sip of the tea that he suddenly choked. The rest I think you know.
I see. Then it appears we have another discrepancy. You see, we have a statement that tells a different story. Boom!
According to Miss Holiday, Mr. Dredd never touched his tea. Know what I mean?
That little minx again! Do you really think you can rely on what she tells you? That woman's a serial liar! Why, she even lied to me in order to get to this meeting, for goodness sake! Or have you conveniently forgotten that little fact already?
Not at all. I made a mental note of it.
Then surely you wouldn't seriously consider taking her word over mine?
Please, Mr. Debonair, there's no need for raised voices. Perhaps all we need to calm down. Perhaps we all need to calm down. A spot of radio, maybe?
Sorry, calm down.
I'm not going through this again. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
This is recording the show. Is this your idea of a joke? Dwight and I worked together for a great many years, you know? Do you think I enjoy listening to my partner? No, my friend suffering over and over again?
I'm very sorry if this caused you any distress. However, this recording actually proves Miss Holliday's statement is true.
I don't understand.
Lucy, would you care to explain?
Oh, it is.
Oops, my bad. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Oh!
There were a broken teacup at the scene of the crime, but there's not even a hint of the sound of China breaking on the recording in the show.
Well, obviously the microphone just didn't pick it up. You patently know very little about radio.
You can clearly make out the sound of the victim collapsing. You'd expect the noise of a cup smashing to be even more clearly audible.
How is this even relevant? It was the teacup that poisoned his drink. We all know that. Does it really matter whether you can hear a teacup breaking on the recording or not? I mean, I ask you.
It matters a great deal. A cup that didn't break is broken. A wig that didn't fall off is lying on the floor. It's not that one witness or another failed to spot something. No, the crime scene changed subtly between the transmission being interrupted and the police arriving. The question then is why?
How How on earth should I know?
Miss Baker and I have come up with a hypothesis. We speculate that when the victim collapsed during the show, he was in fact pretending to die.
What? Oh, don't be absurd, man.
I too thought it unbelievable at first, but if you accept that, everything else falls into place. Lucy?
Mr. Dredd and yourself discussed the idea of such a practical joke before the show. You'd probably fix on him drinking some tea and then starting his whole, oh no, I'm dying bit.
But when it came to the live show, Miss Dredd improvised a few changes.
Instead of it being the tea that kicked everything off, he went for one of Miss Holliday's macaroons. After the performance, once everyone had left the studio, Mr. Dredd got up.
Miss Holiday and Miss Smith would have been in the waiting room, and Mr. Mann would have gone to call the police, which would leave only one other person in the studio, you, Mr. Debonair. No doubt you made a fuss over Mr. Dredd and how great he'd been, and then you offered him some tea.
Tea laced with poison, that is. The poison isn't that bad. He dropped the teacup and it smashed on the floor. And as he crashed to the floor himself, his wig flew off his head.
It's these two minor details that were the cause of the inconsistencies of the scene. When Mr. Dredd collapsed after eating a macaroon, the poison was found in the tea. Then through his wig was still on his head after he collapsed during the show, later was lying on the floor.
Aye, that's the real truth behind the death of DJ Dwight Dredd, and you know it!
Well, it's certainly an imaginative theory, but in the end, it's just that, a theory. You don't have a shred of evidence to support your claim that Dwight faked his own death, do you?
Are you dumb? You literally had it in his pocket. You're stupid. Oh, Mom!
Mr. Dredd's hanky is proof of it.
Good grief, what is that tasteless bit of rag?
We found this hanky with a handwritten note on it.
What does it say? Well, surprised? Huh.
With this hanky that Mr. Dredd will play on the show to let everyone know they have been tricked. That's the only logical explanation for the cryptic message he wrote on it.
It would seem you knew nothing about this handkerchief, yet it was you who proposed the whole idea of the practical joke to the victim in the first place, no?
Rubbish! I don't know anything about it!
It must have been that T-girl who tricked Dwight into the idea of a foolishly schoolboy prank.
She's the one you want! You saw the fax she sent, didn't you? The one with the death threat? Golly, good golly, you even found a perfume bottle full of poison next to it, didn't you? You chaps had it right the first time. They already identified that girl as the killer. You're wasting my time!
I'm afraid that was a mistake.
Aye, she was trying to do this by you. You asked her to help pull off this so-called practical joke.
Absolutely not! She tricked Dwight, murdered him, and then killed him. Killed herself. End of story!
She didn't kill herself. We have evidence to prove it.
Boom!
Miss Brewer made a very interesting note to herself. Allow me to read it to you. Bear on sale, it says.
Well, arrest me now. What damning evidence indeed.
Good, I see you've understood the significance of this note. It refers to an advert that was aired for the very first time, straight after the show was interrupted. This note tells us two things. Firstly, Miss Brewer knew from the outset that Mr. Dredd was going to collapse as part of the show.
She was a huge fan of his, so if she really thought he collapsed, she'd never bother with the ad.
And secondly, she intended to have Farrell's on the way visit Farrell's on the way home and have a look at the sale.
She'd hardly have bothered making a note of a sale she was about to do herself in.
So you see, we can be fairly confident that Miss Brewer had no intention of committing suicide.
Well, that's all very interesting, but let's not forget the woman that was a killer. You can't hope to understand how such a person thinks, surely. And if she hadn't killed Dwight, why'd she send that death threat veiled as a song request?
The facts you're referring to was another suggestion of yours, was it not?
I can hear it now. What you have said to the poor lass. Dwight wants to stage an amazing practical joke on the show. He could really do with your help. You knew she was a huge fan of Mr. Dredd in his show. Of course, she were going to agree. She could have been that chuffed that you had asked her. I bet she read that bogus death threat request gladly, didn't she?
I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
After the show, you waited for your chance to slip off to the store when Miss Brewer was waiting. We still haven't gotten 100% yet, so I'm a little like, uh-oh. Just like you do with Mr. Dredd, you congratulate her on a job well done and offered her a cup of coffee.
The poor lass had no idea. I bet she were on cloud 9 thinking she'd done something to help her idol. As she sipped the deadly poison. That's the truth of the matter, isn't it, Mr. Debonair?
Ah, nope, they're faking me out. They're faking me out. We still haven't gotten 100%. I knew it. Whoa, a full heart again?
My goodness, you pair have the most fantastic imaginations. This could be a new radio drama.
Yep. How come you're still here? We smashed our alibis one by one.
My dear girl, I'm not about to admit to a crime I didn't commit. After all, this whole scenario you've painted is utter fabrication.
No, it is not. We backed up everything we said with hard evidence.
No doubt. I suspect, in all likelihood. I've listened patiently to your conjecture for long enough. Now you listen to me. There's abundant and clear evidence the T-girl killed herself. To start with, there's the handwritten request sheet. However you look at it, the request makes a blatant death threat. It makes her intentions crystal clear. Next, there's the perfume bottle full of poison. The same poison I hasten to add that was used to kill Dwight. She was found with that lethal substance in her possession. And if that isn't damning enough, she used the very same poison to kill herself. Finally, there's the fact that the girl was a die-hard fan of Dwight's. Her twisted feelings for the poor man are what led to this tragedy in the first place. Faced with 3 irrefutable pieces of hard evidence like this, can you honestly suspect anyone else? Can you refute my evidence in any way, my dear?
As
I thought. So that's that then.
Case closed. Oh, crazy professor.
Hey, you can't do that.
What? Oh, no. Crazy professor about to come out. Here it is. Yeah, I knew it. Called it.
When did you... Funny turn again, eh, Professor?
Dear me, you're still here.
This is our office.
Goodness, Mr. Layton, you seem a little, disturbed. Get my name wrong again on purpose, and I'll personally cut out your tongue.
That's it, Professor.
Sock it to him. Good gracious, I'm not quite sure I can believe my ears. Are you sure you're a police officer? You're making me uncomfortable. I demand you allow me to go home, seeing as you have no evidence. Oh, we have evidence. Let's hear your patronizing 3 irrefutable pieces of hard evidence again, shall we? If you dare. I don't know why you've suddenly assumed this menacing tone. Just get on with it. Very well. Not sure why I have to repeat myself like this, but firstly, there's the handwritten request sheet. Secondly, the perfume bottle. Wow. And thirdly, the fact that the T-girl was a die-hard fan of Dwight's. You have no idea, do you? The very words coming out of your mouth. What? One of your 3 irrefutable pieces of hard evidence, Mike. It's just the irrefutable evidence that proves your guilt. Don't be absurd. Lucy, do you know which one it is?
I think I sort of do, and I sort of don't.
One of Debonair's 3 irrefutable pieces of hard evidence, and a piece of evidence from the crime scene. By comparing those 2 things, we can prove beyond any doubt that Mikey here is the killer.
Probably this. And I think this is wrong, but oh! I actually got it right, okay.
You said the bits of broken glass were from...
Oh, I didn't even realize. You're so stupid, dude. They're bits of glass. Why would you be like, yeah, it's a perfume bottle? Oh.
You said the bits of broken glass were from a perfume bottle full of poison, Mr. Debonair. That's when you slipped up. You betrayed yourself rotten.
I'm sorry? You blurted something out that only the real killer could have known.
I found those bits of broken glass in a storeroom. When I found out that's what the poison were in, I'd assumed they come from a pill bottle or something. But the real killer were carrying the poison in a pill bottle wearing. No, he was using a perfume bottle.
I know exactly how your devious mind was working. You'd always intended to leave the bottle of poison in Bruce's hand to make it look like a suicide. That's why you very carefully chose a lady's perfume bottle. I don't know what you're talking about. After you'd poisoned Brewer, you placed the perfume bottle in her hand and left the storeroom. But then something happened that you hadn't banked on. The girl wasn't quite dead! I very much doubt she understood exactly what was happening, but she must have felt she needed to leave a sign, something to show how she was killed. She mustered all her remaining strength. Mustering all her remaining strength, she hurled the perfume bottle against the wall. It smashed into pieces, making it impossible to identify what it was, but of course you didn't know that.
There's no way anyone can tell what sort of container those bits of glass made before they smashed. Even forensics are still hard at work piecing them all back together. Only one person could have possibly known what the original shape it was. And that's the one who put the poison in the first place. The killer! Oh dear me. What a silly mistake. It seems I must have said the wrong thing. You said the wrong thing. You repeated no less than 3 times, and yet you'd like to claim you said the wrong thing. Then you heard me wrong. Yes, that's right. I never said any such thing. Oh, no one to give up for pity's sake. If that's how you want to play it, let's listen to something. Huh? What?
She's the one.
Oh, she's the one you want. You saw the facts, didn't you?
And you recorded it? Yo!
That was the first time. But how did you? I played you recording at Dred's last show, if you remember. It seems I must have accidentally knocked record when I finished. Oh, you little devil, Professor. Fantastic. I knew we didn't have enough evidence to pin it on you. That's why I got you to come here. I thought it'd be fitting to have the final piece of evidence come from the killer himself.
Boom!
I...
Start with his.
That was the second time. Would you like to hear the third? No. You win. You've given up at last. So soon. How dull. I was hoping to tighten the screws on you much more than that. What a disappointment you are. Professor, you're back.
Yeah, sorry about that, Lucy.
No, don't apologize. I'm getting quite used to it now. And anyway, it wasn't so bad this time. You snapped out of it without too much trouble. In fact, I'm a little worried you were a bit too easy.
Mr. Debonair, there's one more thing I'd like to ask you.
What?
You haven't once called the tea lady by her name in all the time we've been talking.
What of it?
Do you not even know the name of the woman you murdered?
Of course I do. It was, Charlotte, wasn't it? No, it flaming well weren't. You really are scum, aren't you?
The lady's name was Anise Brewer. The lady who smashed the bottle you put in her hand, ensuring you take the rap for your crimes.
I'll remember this, Layton.
Lucy?
Yes, Professor?
Take Mr. Debonair to a holding cell, would you?
Mike Debonair, I'm arresting you for multiple counts of murder. I'm Debonair, not Debonair.
Ha! Nice, Layton. Oh, that was some nice karma. Or just, I don't know, comeback, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. God dang it! Well, can I stop getting notifications?
Inspector! Debonair squeaked like a mouse on helium. The bunny spewed his guts out till he was empty inside. Enough of that, you're making me feel queasy. Do you wanna know what the punk's motive was? Do I ever? Debonair's doing the Chinese squeeze on the radio station's account, creaming off profits. Oh? Yep, a Dred found out about it. Started ringing Debonair for cash like a wet towel. Debonair bumped him off.
What's the difference? Or what's the relationship between Brewer and Debonair?
I've covered every angle on that, but I've got nothing. Zilch. The Gink and the Dame didn't have a scrap of shared history. They were totally unrelated.
What about Brewer and Dred?
The more I look into it, the less of a connection they seem to have. In fact, I put money on Debonair with just laying on the rumors that they were a couple. That loafy old goon. Goon? You're not in the mob, Lucy. Do you have to talk like that? I will just...
I'm not feeling very well. I think I'll head off home now.
Oh, well, I got some news I might cheer up a bit before you go, Professor. Ooh, spill the beans then, Lucy. Put us wise. Dolly's bringing out a new single soon.
Dolly? Are you talking about the young lady Sniffer brought in by mistake?
Hey, heavy copper pinches the wrong greaser from time to time. Aye, Dolly Holiday. This new track's causing quite a stir already, and it hasn't been released yet.
Oh, why's that?
She's called it I'll Be the Death of You. Holy smoke, isn't that? The infamous request? Aye, the lass has got herself on the cover of every magazine because of it.
She's a smart one.
It's the B-side that's got me worried. It's called... That one's called Macho Man in a White Gown.
It's a bit of a strange title, I grant you, but what's worrying about it?
What, you don't see?
Don't see what?
Oh, nothing. Never mind then.
He doesn't realize it's about him. Oh my god. Oh, I love Belfendi. Oh? You hear, Sniffer? Oh, wow, that's not the right voice.
Oh, you just missed him, Justin. Went home a few minutes ago.
He's got a cheek, that lad, leaving the office before his boss.
Don't blow your top, Justin.
Ah, you're it too, are you, Al?
Of course I am. This is my office, after all. Your home, more like. So how's it been going? Had any incidents recently?
You mean a Jekyll and Hyde moment with the professor's dark side?
If that's how you want to describe it. Oh!
Talk of the devil, and he'll appear. Oh, come on! Fine, heck! You scared the wits out of me. And there's no crook here, so...
I didn't realize it could change so easily.
It's been a long time, Justin. In fact, yes, our paths haven't crossed since Raymond Castle, have they? Remember?
I couldn't forget that if I wanted to.
It was memorable, wasn't it? Both of us working together to solve the case. You two work together?
Except it still isn't solved, is it? Because you refuse to tell what you know. If it wasn't for that, we'd have solved it long ago.
I really don't know what you mean.
Fine. If you don't want to discuss it, let's forget it. Leave us alone.
As you wish. You know where to find me if you need me again. I'd be glad to show up for my old partner anytime. Anytime at all.
Oh!
Professor, are you alright?
Yes, thank you, Lucy. I'm fine.
Did you hear him? Anytime, he said. Did you hear that, Al?
Yes, I heard.
Have you been in touch with your brother recently?
This is my problem, Justin.
What, do you think you can manage him on your own? Ha! Only a son of Herschel Layton would ever entertain the idea. Well, if that's how you feel, I'll keep my nose out of it.
Sorry.
Right, I'm off. I wish you all the best, Al. I hope things don't turn against you.
Got a name drop there. That was kind of exciting.
Excuse me, what's all this?
You needn't concern yourself with it at the moment, Lucy.
But it's bothering me. It's all so intriguing.
You'll find out sometime whether you want to or not. Assuming, of course, that you stay on as my assistant. I hope that you do. Ooh, setting up. I'm getting excited. Now we're getting into like the late game stuff, I guess. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna say? This is probably gonna be an important case considering it's 4 stars. Oh man, the last case is 5 stars, but like everything else. Plus, it's the commissioner that's giving it to us. Holy crap. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up today's episode here for now. This was a long case, but this was a good one. I liked it. Honestly, the crazy professor moments are easily my favorite moments of these games, but yeah, this is a really good case. I enjoyed it. I think case 3 is still my favorite so far, but yeah, I like this case. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. See you all in the next video. Peace out.